If you order one of the Ancore resistance kits with your rehab arch, we just want to go through some of the basics of using that to get you started. You're going to get the main kit here that includes the base and the resistance plates. You're also going to get a couple extra 2.5 pound plates so you can change resistance in smaller increments. You're going to get a plate dock. This is simply a Velcro on unit that you can simply wrap around one of the lower legs. Down here is where I commonly would keep that. So that's where actually you're going to store your weight plates, is they'll clip into this and they'll just stay on the unit, and you can just Velcro the unit on, Velcro this storage device onto your unit. A key thing you're going to get also is what's called a rack mount. So the rack mount's really nice because this allows you to quickly clip in and add the Ancore system to your rehab arch and move it quickly between different positions. So it's got this little round kind of nut that screws on. However, it's also got a push button on this nut that when you go ready to put this onto the arch, you just simply push the button so it'll slide very quickly onto the pin, the pin here that has threads on it, and then you can just thread it a little bit to tighten it up. So we're going to show you how to do that real quick. So I'm going to push this button to slide it off quickly here, just like that, that it uncouples the threads there. So I'm going to place it onto the arch, and I can place that anywhere on the arch. You see there's a small pin on the bottom of this that also has to slide into one of the holes here just to keep it from rotating. So I'm going to slide that here. We're going to take our screw here on the other side. We're going to push the button in and slide it all the way to the unit, and then just make a couple half a turn or so to tighten it so it's on the unit there. Okay. To remove that, simply turn it, unscrew it a few threads, and then push the button and slide it off. Now you can quickly move this anywhere on the unit. So we're actually going to have this face directly this way. Now we're going to add the base unit. So here's your base unit. The base unit has Ancore written across the top here, and there's a cotter pin in the back of the unit here. So we're going to pull that pin out so that we can have access. There's a square recess in the back of this, and that's what's going to fit onto the rack mount. So I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to go ahead and press that on. Initially, this might be a little tight. Over time, that'll loosen up a little bit as you use the unit. And then you're going to slide your cotter pin right down through that to hold that in place. You can reorient this head unit or base unit by simply pulling it off, and I can turn it 90 degrees. So if I want to reorient how the rollers are here to get optimal angles, and then just put your pin back in, now you're reoriented 90 degrees. So let's go back to our traditional position here. Put our pin in, like so. And now we have it in that position. So with the Ancore facing up or reading normally, here we can add or remove plates. So we're going to take our plates here. We're going to take a 5 pound on the right and a 10 pound on the left. And we're going to come over to our main unit here. And with the Ancore reading this direction here, that's going to identify as our right side will be here on the right, and left side relative to looking at that Ancore in that position here. So I'm going to take my 10L, my 10 pound plate that says L for left, and place it on the left side. There is a center, kind of triangular centerpiece here that's going to have to interface with the triangular centerpiece here. And you get that close and start rotating backwards until it drops into place, and then rotate it forward just a small amount to lock it back into place once that's dropped in. So do the same thing on the right. We're going to place it here, start going backwards till it falls into place, and then click it forward to lock it into place. You can add resistance plates to either side. They don't have to be balanced. The total amount you add just adds up to the total amount of resistance you're going to provide. The base provides 5 pounds of resistance, and then any additional you just add to that. Okay? So you can add and subtract as needed. So the other key thing when you're using your Ancore device is making sure that whatever resistance or assistance you're providing, that the cable is rolling smoothly over one of the pulley guides here, okay? So this might require you changing the position of the anchor system or reorienting it 90 degrees if you're pulling like in and out versus up and down to make sure that that cable is pulling properly over one of the rollers. You don't want the cable pulling into the corners and rubbing over the plastic edges of the device, or else you'll get excessive and early wear on the rope. So again, I'll show you how to change positions here. So if I want to bring this down, I can bring it down to this position here, put my little piece back on here, and I'll have it like this. And if I want to reorient the position of the head unit, just simply pull your cotter pin out, and then reorient it 90 degrees. So if I want to do something that's going to provide going resistance this direction, I'm going to get proper passing of the rope over the rollers, okay? The other thing you're going to get with your unit is you'll also get this resistance bar. This is nice. It has a center, a hook point that rotates, so you can do two-armed activities through just one pulley unit. It also has two ends that rotate, so if you have two anchor systems, you can attach anchor systems to both ends and do some really nice dynamic activities with those. And you'll see on some of the demo videos for the anchor system various uses and applications of the anchor device.